Welcome to the Service Industry Podcast. I've spent the last decade as a CEO, operator, and business builder selling tens of millions of dollars in products and services. I, just like many of you, started with nothing. My mission for this podcast is to help you become the greatest version of yourself, help you grow and scale your business, and create the life you've always dreamed of. I'm your host, Matt Smith. Enjoy the episode. What is going on, everybody? Matt here from the Service Industry Podcast. Hope you are doing well, and I really do hope that you guys are somewhere on planet Earth warmer than I am right now, because any day you wake up and there's a negative before the actual number, it's a good day to stay in bed. Definitely a good day to not go outside. And for us, we've had a little bit of a streak the last few days of those negative numbers popping up on my phone in the morning. And so hopefully you're somewhere warm in the South. And for all of my Midwest folks on here, God bless you. So today we got a good episode because this is kind of inspired by some conversations I've honestly had over the last week or so with some home service business guys, some that are just getting started, others that have been in business for a while and just can't really seem to get traction, and they're struggling, right? They're just having a hard time getting sales, getting leads, getting the phone to ring. And so today I wanted to talk about what it really looked like the truth, okay? Not like the internet bullshit you guys see of people driving McLarens and all this fancy stuff, like what the early days really looked like for me to get to $20,000 months and kind of mentally and physically what I had to go through to get there, but what I was able to do once we got there to really scale the business very quickly. And I think this will help people because a lot of guys are stuck at that, right? Like $10, $20, $30,000 a month range. And some guys can't even get the phone to ring at all. So I wanted to talk about this today because I have endless comments on my videos about it. And I have a lot of guys when they ask me like, man, like, how did you do that? And then I tell them, they're like, oh, okay. I was just pretty much, undervaluing or understanding how much I needed to do. So we're going to talk about it today. It'll be a fun little story time. I think you guys will enjoy it. Before we dive in, you guys know I own ServiceIndustryCoach.com. We are a print marketing agency, and we help you with all of your print marketing needs: direct mail, business cards, yard signs, NCR forms, brochures, all of it. We do the design, we do the printing, we do the shipping. We are the bee's knees, dude. I'm telling you what, we are printing a lot of print marketing now, and guys are seeing crazy results. It's becoming, direct mail specifically, is becoming the number one lead source for tons of guys' home service businesses. And I built, almost my entire company off of direct mail. So if you guys want help and you want it done by someone that actually knows what they're doing and who has done it and is currently doing it, go to ServiceIndustryCoach.com or click the link in the show notes. Okay, so this kind of stemmed from a video I made, and I was talking about, if you guys don't follow me on TikTok, you should go over there and follow me, because I post a ton of business content every day. And I made a video talking about basically how in the early days, well, first it started with these paper flyers because I was really, really broke. But then once I made a couple $100, I bought these 4x6 postcards, and this was back in my day when I was cleaning windows, and I would basically have a little spot on there that says like your window cleaning price is, and then I would handwrite in the price. So, I might say like outside only $89. And then I would go and put these on front doors or in the newspaper boxes that were attached to mailboxes. Okay, here in Michigan, that's legal. Do not put them in mailboxes. That is definitely not legal. But you can put them in the newspaper boxes that are attached. And I liked doing that. I actually targeted a lot of neighborhoods with those boxes because I didn't have to get out of the car and it was way faster. But for the neighborhoods I wanted to be in that didn't have those, I would just go door to door and stick them on front doors. And I would do it every single month, literally over and over and over to the same neighborhoods time and time again. And I made a video about this, talking about how in the early days, I was putting out 10,000 of these by hand every single month. Okay, it did not fail. This was my core lead source, right? And so I was dead broke. So people are like, well, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just mail them? It was like, bro, because I didn't have any money. Zero, okay? I started the business with $800, and after I bought my equipment, I had like nothing left. And so long story short, people are like, well, how did you actually physically do that, Matt? That's impossible. And what I learned was when people were commenting this, when they said that that was impossible, what they really meant was it was impossible based on the work hours they were willing to work. Okay, meaning, Matt, that's impossible to put out 10,000 postcards by hand every single month, working 9 to 5. It's like, no shit, dude. I wasn't working 9 to 5. I was working 6 to 11 p.m., okay? 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night. I can't tell you how many times I was in my little black Ford Focus hatchback at 11 o'clock at night, slapping these postcards into newspaper boxes, okay? Driving around in my little stick shift, beat up Ford Focus, and this is what I was doing all of the time. If I had free time, I was postcarding. Okay, someone's like, oh, what are you doing, dude? I'm out postcarding. Oh, what are your plans tonight? I got to go postcard. That was my life. So when people are like, oh, it's impossible, you're right. It is impossible for those of you that want to work a 9 to 5. And that's why you're stuck. And that's why you're slow. That's why you're not scaling. That's why your phone's not ringing. It's because you underestimate what it takes in the early days when you have no money to actually start to build momentum and traction inside of your business. And I wanted to talk about this today because I think people have this weird belief that they can open an LLC and pay somebody $50 on Fiverr to make a trash logo and not have a website and just create a Facebook page and a Google My Business and think the phone's going to ring. And it's not. It's just not. And that's why so many businesses fail in the first 12 months and almost all businesses fail in the first 5 years. It's because people underestimate the amount of volume required in order to build a company. They underestimate the amount of time required in order to get a company off the ground and get momentum and scale. They underestimate it. They think that they're just going to be a business owner and be an entrepreneur, and before you know it, the Lamborghinis and McLarens are going to show up in their driveway. And it doesn't work like that, dude. It does not work like that. And so the way I was able to get to $20,000 months when I had no money was by literally just spending every waking moment of my life putting out these little postcards that let somebody know I exist. Because the truth is, the reason your phone's not ringing is because people don't know you exist. Like knocking on the door once, or putting the postcard on the door once, or running the Facebook ad once, that doesn't work. That is not a real thing. And I'm not trying to be harsh here. I just want to be real with you guys. Like this is not going to work for you if that's your belief. People are like, well, Matt, you do it every single month. Like you hit the same houses every single month. Like how long do you have to do that for? Forever, bro. Forever. Unless you want to go backwards. Like people don't wake up every day and go like, man, I love John's Lawn Care. John's Lawn Care is the best company. They're just great. Don't you love their logo? Don't you see their trucks all over town? Don't you remember that one Facebook ad we got back in 2016 from them? It was such a good ad. No, dude, they don't care. It is your job as a business owner to stay in front of your ideal potential customers all of the time, forever. That's how you build big business, period. And so the truth is the reason people are small is because they underestimate time and volume required in order to build a big business, in order to build a business, period, honestly. Okay? And then you'll have the people that are, I only work off referral. Go look at their businesses, dude. They're small. They're broke. You wouldn't trade places with those guys. They've been in business for 20 plus years. And they're small. Dude, that's miserable. And it's because they didn't want to put in the work. They didn't want to build a team, right? Like right now in my roofing business, we went from 0 to 1.5 million in the first 7 months. We're right now hiring people and building out the team because I understand that, hey, if I want this business to scale quickly, I cannot do it all, right? Like I can't put out 500 yard signs a month by myself. I can't run every sales appointment. I can't handle all of the marketing. I can't handle all of the sales training that the sales guys need on a weekly basis. I can't do it all. So I got to build the team and the infrastructure so we can scale quickly, because now if I have 2 guys doing yard signs, then guess what? That means 500 yard signs get put out every single month without me lifting a finger, and it's guaranteed to get done. If I have somebody answering my phones versus me answering the phones, that means every single call gets answered no matter what, because even if I'm busy, someone is designated to that task, which in return means we don't miss leads, which in return means we don't waste money on marketing. We close more deals. We make more money. It drives more revenue. But the truth is that most people aren't even willing to build a team early. What they'll do is they'll max their business out until they are absolutely suffocated and a million things are falling through the cracks and they're offering a terrible customer service, and they go, oh, I think it's time for me to hire someone to answer phones. You think? So I wanted to hop on here, you guys, because it's like, you got to ask yourself these questions. Am I underestimating the volume that is required in order to win? And am I underestimating the time that is required in order to win? Okay. All of you, even if you haven't set 2026 goals, y'all got into business because you want to make more money. You want to have more freedom of your time. I'm here to tell you that will never happen unless you put the work in up front and build the infrastructure to allow you to do so. Okay. The money thing comes with scale. The time thing comes with building a team. There is no in between. If you're an owner-operator, you've got no time. You own a job, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but it is what it is, okay? If you're not working, the business makes no money. That is called owning a job. Okay, you see your family at dinner time, not during the day. You don't take your kids to school. You don't pick them up from school. You work all day. You are on a truck. You are the owner of a job. But if you actually got into business to make money and have freedom, then you have to build the team. You have to be willing to spend money. You have to be willing to work a lot of hours in the early days. You have to be willing to go and put out 10,000 mailers by hand if you have $0 in your bank account today, because you have no other choice. And then once I hit the 20,000 mark, okay, consistently, I was able to take some of that profit and reinvest it back into the business. So I would say, like, okay, I'm doing 10,000 by hand. Now I have enough money to mail 2,500 of them, and now I only have to do 7,500 by hand. Boom, that just freed up some time, right? And then as we scaled, okay, now I can mail 5,000 and put out 5,000. And then before you know it, it went full circle where, cool, now we're mailing 10,000 and I don't have to do any by hand anymore. Now we're mailing 20,000, we're scaling up. And that's just how it works. But in the early days, if you have no money, then all you have is time. Okay? And if you're fortunate enough that you do have money, right? Like in my roofing business, when we started this time, we still only started with 10 grand, but I could have put endless amounts of money into it this time. And I didn't have to do the same things I did in my first business. Like I didn't have to be out till 11 o'clock at night putting out postcards because I didn't have money to mail them. I just mailed them from the start because I had money, right? So like that's the advantage. But if you don't have money, then you're going to have to do the things that I just talked about. There is no other way around it. And then you're going to have to be disciplined that when you start to close deals and you start to land jobs, that you pay yourself as little as humanly possible. This is a key. You pay yourself as little as humanly possible and you reinvest the money back into the business so you can start to scale faster. Okay? That means maybe now you're implementing yard signs with all of your pieces you're putting out by hand. right? That means maybe you can start to afford to run Google ads, something that's not quite as taxing on you. But with that, especially if you're broke, you're going to have to go, I got to live as lean as possible. Like you guys, in the wintertime in my first business, for the first couple of years, I worked a second job. So I didn't have to suck the profits of the business dry, and I could use the money to invest back into the company. Like I was plowing snow at 1 a.m. so I could make cash to pay my bills so my business could take the business money and grow. Now, I don't have to do that anymore. But in the early days, like those were the sacrifices I had to make. And just nobody really talks about it. Everyone just wants to talk about how they're making so much money and like how they have nice cars and supercars and nice houses and all of this stuff that's just like, dude, just tell the truth. It's hard. Like business is hard. That's why the failure rate's so high. It's because most people aren't willing to endure what it takes in order to win. And I don't make this to like be a doom and gloom, but I do want you guys to understand like this is what is required if we want to win. If we want to get to the next level, if we want to scale a business, there will be sacrifice required from you. And if you're not willing to, that's okay. But then you should probably go try to be like a number 2 or a number 3 at a different company. Because maybe that's a better fit for you with, a more structured hourly. But the business game is hard as F. And I've always kept it real with you guys. And I talked to probably like 8 or 9 people this week that were in the early stages. And they're like, literally like, I just don't understand, man, like how you would get out that many pieces. It's like, well, how late do you work? I mean, I don't know, 5. Well, of course you don't understand. Back in the day, I worked 2 days to year 1. How fast does that compound? Right? And so, and it's nobody's fault. It's just people underestimate. And so hopefully this will resonate with somebody, and hopefully this will give you some clarity. Like if you're small right now and you're like, man, I don't know how people are getting momentum. That's how. More. The answer is just more. And it'll come. More and consistency, right? So like not more for like 3 weeks, more for like 3 years. And then you'll look back and go, wow, holy crap, have I come a long ways. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. As always, if you need any help marketing your business or want to work with me directly doing one-on-one coaching, visit serviceindustrycoach.com. We'll see you on the next episode.